I'm Amber, and this is Engineering Life. I like watching daily vlogs on YouTube and wanted to find one by a woman in engineering, but I couldn't find one, so I've made my own with the goal of promoting diversity in engineering. It's not all about me. I have guest vlogger engineers to include more voices in this project. And it's not all about engineering. You'll see the everyday life of engineers and the diversity that can exist within this field. I want to encourage everyone to pursue engineering even if they don't fit the stereotypical mold. I'm still figuring this all out, so I hope you'll stick with me. Remember to subscribe and share. Thanks! So I've been really bad about vlogging. Partially because it's hard to remember to do, and partially because I don't do anything exciting. So once again, I'm just going to be talking, and hopefully that's okay. With school starting back either this week or next week, probably for most people, I wanted to talk about being a freshman in engineering and it being weird and what I wish I knew as a freshman. I won't be saying anything groundbreaking or that you haven't heard before, but maybe someone will hear it and it will make their freshman year just a little bit easier. I wish I'd known going into undergrad that all of the guys that I was going to be in class with didn't see me as some sort of weird outsider. This is not to get into some sort of super in-depth feminism theory thing. This is just what I experienced and what I thought going in. I assumed that since I was, for the most part, the only woman in a room, that all of the guys around me would want to make me feel comfortable and welcome and be extra nice, because that's what I would do if there were some random person in a group of people that felt the way I felt. But that's not the case. They didn't really see me as any different, which was great in some ways, but also meant that they didn't take any extra effort to welcome me into the room. Again, please don't read more into this than just me being super awkward and introverted. The point of me saying all of this is that I didn't take it upon myself to introduce myself to anyone that I sat next to or met in class. I just kept to myself because that's the way I am, and I wanted other people to make the first move of being friendly and extroverted. But odds are they're just as awkward and unsure of what to do in that social situation as you are, and there's a good chance that they might be intimidated by you just because you are a woman in engineering, and it's kind of weird still. I think it's hard to remember that everyone's basically in the same boat unless you're just a super extroverted person and you love meeting new people, which most people are not that way. Everyone else wants other people to make the first move. Something else you should absolutely do within your first semester is to join something, some sort of club, organization, group, anything. It doesn't have to be engineering based, even though that is really helpful to get to know the people in your department or professors in your department, but join something. You can make friends that way, and it's a good distraction. And actually, I probably got my first internship position because I had been on a Formula One team my first 2 semesters, and the person interviewing me was also a Formula One person, and even though I'd rarely done anything with the cars, just having that similarity with him was helpful, and being able to say that I worked on the team for maybe 5 to 10 hours a week throughout my whole first year of undergrad looked really good, and it was something that I think was important in me getting selected for that job. So extracurriculars in undergrad are super, super important. As much as you want to study and have really good grades, having extracurriculars is equally as important. And getting into something your freshman year is super helpful. There will be fairs and meetups and all kinds of things that are solely based for freshmen to find something that they like. So take advantage of that. It's really important. I don't think I can stress that enough. You should also look for university or external scholarships to apply for after either your first semester or your first year. That's not something that anyone really talks about, at least not when I was an undergrad, but luckily I came across a few. And even though I didn't really get any of them after that first semester or the first year, it was really good experience to apply for all of those scholarships and write the letters and talk to professors and get recommendation letters. A few things less academically focused. One is to figure out a way to make sure your backpack is waterproof. This might not be something you have to worry about if you live somewhere weird like California, but I'd say that most other places there's a good chance that you'll be walking across campus in the pouring down rain, and there's also a good chance that your books are going to get soaked, and that is no fun because you don't want to spend another $100 or $200 on a book. I made that mistake and ended up with 2 or 3 inches of water sitting in the bottom of my backpack before I realized that all of my books were soaked. So either get a waterproof backpack, or if you're like me and you're cheap, get a bunch of grocery bags and keep them in your backpack so that when you see that it's going to be raining, you just slide them up over your books. And then even if it does rain into your backpack, they won't get completely soaked. They maybe just get a little damp. Also, if you didn't get to pick your roommate, or I guess maybe suite mates if you live in a school that has those kinds of dorms, there's a good chance that one or all of them is going to be terrible. I had my first roommate, and she acted like a cat half of the time. I'm not kidding. She meowed at people and hissed at people, and it was very weird. And she also played techno music very loud, very late, and it was just not good. She was plenty nice, she was just kind of odd. And we did not click at all. Luckily, I had made some other friends in the honors college and was able to move into the honors dorm instead of the engineering dorm, and I roomed with one of my best friends from that semester on, and it was perfect. So even if your first roommate sucks, which they probably will, most likely try to switch roommates after one semester, or if you're really unlucky after a year, ask around. Don't be afraid to go bother people in the residence, what is it called? In the student life or the residence office. Because if it's something that's keeping you from being happy, that is not good, especially for somewhere where you should be able to go and relax and not have to deal with people meowing at you. So that's everything, at least that I can think of as far as wisdom to pass on to the youths of engineering. I hope at least something was helpful that I said, and that you have an awesome first semester and first year as an engineering undergrad. Yeah, it's probably going to be hard, but don't let people tell you that it's hard just because it's engineering. College is hard, it's supposed to be hard, and you get out of it what you put into it. Try to stick with it, it's totally worth it. And I hope something I said maybe will help. Okay, see you next week. Bye.